Are you a student teacher and you're just not sure on what it is that you can do, what it is that you can't do, and even what's expected of you? And how can you gain the most experience possible from your student teaching? I'm Mr. Luke. This is Mr. Luke Unplugged, and I've been a student teacher before. So I'm here to give you a few tips on how you can get ahead, gain some experience, and also, most importantly, build your confidence. So if you're ready, let's unplug. So here's some advice on how you can get ahead. The weekend before, make sure that you meal prep. Meal prep all of your meals for the week, even your breakfast if you're having trouble getting out on time. Also, get some coffee. Make a pot of coffee the night before, stick it on go as soon as you get up in the morning, and put it in a to-go cup, and then you've got coffee. That saves you time. You're not having to slide into the local Starbucks and spend $8 on some coffee every day. You know, that really adds up. You're also not having to spend the money in the school cafeteria on a school lunch because, believe it or not, those are pretty expensive as well. So make sure that you're meal prepping and you have your coffee ready to go. Make sure to get up early. Give yourself enough time to take care of you. You need to take care of yourself in the mornings and make sure that you're not running out of the door with 5 minutes to spare and you're just putting on your clothes as you're hopping out of the door or you're putting on your makeup. Make sure to take care of you. You'll feel great, you'll feel accomplished, and you'll be ready to take on the day. I always try and get to the school 30 minutes prior. I have an hour drive. I have to drive over a mountain. Sometimes I have to take the interstate, and then there's a bunch of traffic on there as well. So I have to make sure that I budget for time. Make sure you are budgeting for all of those things that quite possibly could go wrong. When you walk into the school, I have a ritual. What I do is I tap the top of the door frame, and that tells me, okay, teacher face. Everything that has happened in the outside world or in my personal life, I'm taking that backpack off, I'm setting it outside of the door, I'll pick it up when I leave the school, and once I walk in, I am Mr. Luke. Arriving 30 minutes early allows you to take care of any paperwork, any household items such as printing before all of the other teachers go to the printer, because that's a real thing. There's one printer in the entire school that like 20, 30 teachers use, and everyone's there. You don't want to be caught at the back of the line if you're not prepared and already have that stuff printed out ready to go. Make sure to make your bed. It was learned by a famous speech given to some college students on their graduation. And it talked about how making your bed can set you up for success for the rest of your day. If nothing else goes right during your day, you've at least accomplished one task. I never used to like making the bed because we had all of these decorative pillows on the bed. Now my wife has toned it down to like 6. For me, it's still 6 too many, but I'll put those on there because I don't like doing it. There's a saying, eat the frog leg first. Sorry if you like to eat frog legs. But eating the frog leg first means get the tough things out of the way, and then the good things are left for you to accomplish later. Get the hard things out of the way. Making your bed is going to set you up for success. And trust me, you're going to feel a whole lot better, especially when you come home and you've got a nicely laid bed that you can just then take all those decorative pillows off, throw them away, and hop right into a nicely made, fresh bed. Dress for success. And I owe a lot of credit of this for my wife because, I mean, just look at how she dresses. Amazing! She looks absolutely stunning, looks beautiful. I used to wear SpongeBob hoodies, cartoon character t-shirts. I still wear my cartoon character socks. But mix that with my 7, 8-year-old personality, there wasn't really too much difference between teacher and student, between me and the kids that I was teaching. So I started to dress for success. I took some inspiration from the show Peaky Blinders. I was just looking at the newsboy, and the newsboy is even wearing a hat, and he's wearing a nice suit, and he's throwing out papers. Looks very, very professional. You don't want to look like you just rolled in from the street, and it also gives you a halo effect, which puts you in a position of authority in other people's eyes. The reason why I dress like this is because it makes me feel confident. Again, the show Peaky Blinders. Look at Tommy Shelby. Confidence, right? Wear something that will give you confidence when you step out of the door. If you've noticed, all of these tips so far is about mentally preparing yourself. That's 90% of the game. Mentally prepare yourself for what it is that you're going to do. Yeah, you can still go and have fun, but all of these things that have been mentioned so far will set you up for mental success and make you feel so much better and less stressed. Now, being a student teacher, I know that you're going to have schoolwork that needs to be done while you're working. That's a lot of stress. Do yourself a favor. And on your drive, depending on how long that it is, maybe it's 20 minutes or like me, it's an hour, you can still knock out some schoolwork. How? Hook up your phone to your Bluetooth device, and if there's a video that you can listen to, not watch, don't watch a video on drive, just listen to it, listen to the video, or if there's an audio book that's been assigned to you and you can listen to that as well, get those types of things done and knocked out. That saves you an hour or two. By the time that you come home and you have to do your schoolwork, you would have already have had those videos or those books listened to. And even if you have to listen to it again, you're still going to have some of the information ingrained in your brain from what you listened to earlier. So do yourself a favor, knock out some schoolwork while you're driving. A lot of us, we like to listen to our music. We like to wind down before we go to work to prepare ourselves. But trust me, again, planning to get ahead of your schoolwork and listen to that, get it out of the way while you've got an hour or 20 minutes worth of a drive. You'll thank yourself later. Now, all that is how you can plan to get ahead. Now it's about gaining some experience. The best experience that you can have is interactions with students. Greet as many students as what you possibly can. While I was in my teacher assistant position and student teaching, my main job in the morning was breakfast duty. Now, usually breakfast duty, you're standing there and you're making sure that the kids are eating their breakfast, they're not talking, they eat their breakfast, and they get to the classroom as soon as they finished. Now, I unplugged from that. I use that as a moment for connection to kids. Every kid that walked through that door, I'd give them a fist bump. And it started to graduate into, we ended up coming up with our own handshakes or our own sayings. Yeah, there were kids who didn't want to give me fist bumps. Some of them would give me their head. Some of them started giving me their feet. Some would just walk right by me and just smile. That became a thing too. Play on everything that you can when it comes to interacting with kids. That is the best time to interact. It's in their environment. They've just come in. They don't want to see, "It's your breakfast now." They want something fun. They want to know that you want them there and that you want to be there and you want to see them. "Hey, I missed you over the weekend." That's what I always used to say on a Monday morning. Then talking to them about their day. Also, when you're sitting down with the students while they're eating their breakfast, they're less likely to mess around. There's less likely to be like an egg thrown across the room. You can make sure that they're picking up their trash so that it can save you time as well if that's what your job is. If it's not, ask for that job. Ask for the job. Can I greet students in the morning for breakfast? It's a lot of fun and it helps you build deep, meaningful connections with students. Because after all, those are the people that you're going to be interacting with once your student teaching is done and you have your own classroom. Another thing is to shadow your CT teacher. CT is your cooperating teacher, the teacher that you are working with in the classroom. That person is your mentor. Make sure to ask them questions. There are no silly questions. You don't want to be leaving your student teaching experience thinking, "I really wish that I asked this question." That's what they're there for. They're there to answer questions. Make sure that you're asking to be involved in things that you're not necessarily going to see as a student teacher. You're not going to see the behind the scenes things. Maybe that is parents' evening. You're not involved in the parents' evening. Maybe it's grading. Maybe it's the systems that the teachers are using to input the report card comments, how they're putting in the grades for the vowels testing, all of the software systems that are being used, even Google Classroom. Make sure that you're looking at those things so that when it comes time for you to have your own classroom or you're on your own, you're not stumbling around trying to figure out how the software things work. Don't just be stuck in the classroom, cutting things out and printing things. This is a task that most cooperating teachers like to give student teachers because, yeah, you're helping out, You're going to have to do it when you become a teacher, and it also saves time in the long run. But there's going to be plenty of time for that. You're going to have planning time. You're going to have before school. You're going to have after school. You are there to learn what is going on in the classroom and how to engage with students and present lessons. If you're engaged, you're able to see how kids respond, what they like, what they dislike, what causes the undesirable behavior. Sometimes undesirable behavior, well, I'll probably say most of the time, is because a kid is struggling, or they're just not interested in the lesson, or they're just not getting attention and they're doing something to reach out for attention. You are in there to provide that support. You can go to those students, you can offer them a helping hand, you can even put a nice little hand on the shoulder and just be like, hey, what's going on? I see that you're having a little bit of trouble today. You are then also building those relationships with students, and you're helping your cooperating teacher out at the same time. So if you're stuck right now, cutting things out, printing things, ask your cooperating teacher for a little bit more responsibility. Maybe you can teach small groups. My cooperating teacher was amazing. She threw me in right away into the fire, gave me a small group to teach during small group time, and I was exposed to teaching and interacting with students in that way. Now, as a student teacher, how can you gain confidence? You've prepped, you're gaining experience, but now you need confidence. There are some student teachers that walk through the hallways and you know that they're a student teacher. Sometimes their head is down. They'll zoom right by you real quick because they don't want to say hello. Give a greeting to people. Stop, say hello. Don't just say, hey, how you doing? Good, good. And keep walking. Make it purposeful that you're asking how their day is going or how their morning is going. How did their weekend go? Because you are genuinely interested. Helps you build relationships with your colleagues. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Don't play it safe. You're a student teacher. You're allowed to make mistakes. You're learning. I have a saying in my classroom that we're not in school to get things right. We're in school to learn and solve problems to get to the correct answer. I mentioned this subtly before, but be you. There's a lot of amazing teachers out there that we wish that we could be like, but you just have to be you. You can't emulate another teacher. You can take things away that they do well, and you can also take things that they don't do so well. And you can mold that into how you want your teaching style to be and who you want to be as a teacher, how you see your classroom, what fits your personality. Be you. Don't try and be the teacher who is the teacher of the year, because if you keep trying to be like those people, you're not going to be yourself. Don't let anyone tell you you're not a teacher. Don't feel like you're not a teacher. You are a teacher. That's what you are training to be. You're in that building. Your title might be long-term sub. Your title might be student teacher, but you are a teacher. I had a principal tell me that when you're in that classroom, you are those kids' teacher. You can be firm, fair, and fun. 3 F's. Firm, fair, and fun. Your rules might be a little bit different than the classroom teacher, and that can be just a little bit tricky. I'm a little bit more relaxed than some of the teachers that I've been in a classroom with. My patience is, I have a little bit more patience as well, and I might see some problems as not as extreme as what some teachers do. But again, that's just my personality. You cannot imitate other teachers. You have to be you. So make sure that you go in there with confidence and don't let anybody tell you you're not a teacher or make you feel any less than just because of the title that is across your badge or the sticker that you're wearing when you walk into the school. Real quick story. I was in a new school, long-term subbing after my student teaching. So I've still already got 4 years of teaching experience under my belt while I was studying. And now I'm looking after a classroom while one teacher is on maternity leave. And I'm in this school. In my classroom, there's a kid that just wasn't paying attention and always wears a hoodie. And I walk over and I just subtly put the hood over their head. And I'm a little bit of a jokester, a little bit of a trickster. And it started to become a thing because if I was wearing a coat and it had a hood on, kids would run by and they'd flip the hood over me as well. And it started to become a lot of fun. So what I did is I took that into my dismissal duties. With kids that I don't know, I just walk around and kids would be loud, right? Just not obeying any rules. And I'd suddenly walk over and I'd just put the hood over the head and they'd quickly throw it down. And it started to become a lot of fun for a lot of kids because they'd see me come in and they'd tuck their backpack over their hood, or they'd be like, hey, Mr. Luke, get me. And it was just a lot of fun. It was a great way to connect with some kids. So I'd been doing this for about 2 weeks. Then on the 3rd week, I was in with a teacher that I didn't really have a relationship with because they were on the other side of the hallway. It was a little bit of a bigger school. I'm interacting with students in my classroom a lot more than what I was able to the entire school, because when I was a teacher assistant, I was in all these different classes and I didn't have cafeteria duty because now I'm looking after my class in the mornings, but I still had dismissal duty. So with this one teacher, I walk over to a student, I flip the hood up, and this teacher just makes one quick beeline to me and grills me in front of other students saying, you can't do that. They can't wear their hoods up in school. What if another teacher came by and saw them with their hood up? They would be in trouble. I'm thinking, am I not a teacher? And what I realized is because I'm only there for a short period of time, they don't really know who I am as a person, what my teaching style is, who I am as a teacher, the types of relationships that I build with students. They saw that as kind of unorganized chaos, maybe, where in my eyes, it was organized chaos. I've been doing it for 2 weeks. It wasn't causing any more disruption during dismissal. But what hurt me the most was, what if another teacher saw them with their hood up? They would be in trouble. In that moment, I did feel less than. But what I did is I sat back, I didn't retaliate, I didn't say anything back. And it was so bad that another student that was in my class said, ooh, you got in trouble by Miss. It was very unprofessional. Usually I could just get pulled to the side and said, hey, what was that about? And then I could explain it, but I wasn't really given that type of opportunity to do that. So protect who you are as a teacher, protect your personality, but in the end, don't let anyone tell you you're not a teacher, because you are, you're going to be great, and you're going to be amazing. Building confidence takes practice. You have to practice, 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 practice. Can I say practice one more time? Keep practicing what it is that you're doing. Keep failing, keep making mistakes, because eventually it's going to click and you're going to get it right. You're going to find the formula that works. Gain confidence by getting your hands dirty, getting in there, interacting with students, interacting with your colleagues, asking questions, and you will come out a much stronger teacher. Gain confidence in lesson planning. That's one thing that I thought that would be extremely hard for me to do, especially when I was student teaching and I was being observed. The plans were 9 pages long. You were inputting all of this information that wouldn't necessarily be on a lesson plan once you have your own classroom. Stick through those, because those lesson plans, the way that the colleges have set them up, are making sure that you can align your lessons with whatever standards it is that your state has, and that you can put a lesson together that meets the goal and the target of that subject. When it's time to be observed, don't bribe the kids and tell them someone's coming in to watch you and you're going to give them 5 minutes extra recess or a piece of candy if they all behave in the class, because at that point it just becomes unrealistic. You want as a realistic scenario as possible when you're being observed. It also gives you opportunities to correct behavior, engage with students. If the class does start going off the rails, they are observing how you bring it back. What type of relationship are you building with students? We all watch these videos on YouTube where the class is perfect, everyone's in unison, maybe there's complete silence, and we get into this belief that silence in a classroom means learning. It doesn't. Think of yourself. If you're in a seminar and you've been in class yourself, student, teacher, you can be silent, but just not engaged and not paying attention. Engagement is what you are after. Are the students engaging with you? Are you engaging with them? Are they engaging with the content? Thank you for spending this time with me. Hopefully you've learned some ways to be prepared, gain some experience, and build your confidence. Student teaching is its own animal. I see you. It's fresh in my brain. No one really sees all of the behind the scene things that you're doing. Keep being you, and you are a teacher. Don't let anyone tell you any different. Always remember why you got into teaching. I'm Mr. Luke. This is Mr. Luke Unplugged. And today, you just unplugged. Help us grow this channel and join us and subscribe.